Her son is a victim in this case.
I'm the victim. You beat me.
All
Almost.
right.
Like,
Hold on.
yeah.
Can you
Oh,
mute her
yeah, I'm
deputy?
5'1.5". Like,
Miss
Can
Williams,
you
Miss
mute can
Williams,
you
Miss
mute her
Williams,
deputy?
Miss Williams.
This is 25 CR 004258J Desiree Williams, charged with one count of battery family violence and a second count of simple battery family violence.
35. Open vice charge out of Vegas. 2022 FTA. Hey, these are all FTAs. 2022, 2018, 17, 16, 12, and 11. That's it.
Okay.
You're on July 25th, officers responded to a dispute call at 370 Northside Drive. When they arrived, they spoke with Ms. Desiree Williams, the defendant, who stated she was in a physical altercation with her son, Mr. Khalil Williams. Mr. Williams is the victim in this case. She informed officers that she was letting her son stay in the apartment to give him a place to stay. She came over to the apartment that day to check on her son because she heard that he had a female inside the apartment with him. She did enter the apartment and she sat down at the table. She began questioning her son, who was in the kitchen at the time, about his job and why he had a female friend inside the apartment. She informed officers that Mr. Williams stated that this was, Mom, this is embarrassing, which caused a verbal dispute to take place right shortly after that. As the defendant got up and walked towards her son, and that's when a physical dispute began. Officers did speak to Mr. Williams on the scene, and he stated that his mom came over to the apartment and began questioning him about his job and pretty much telling them that this ain't no hangout. He mumbled that this is embarrassing, and she became very upset, got up from the table and walked into his face, trying to fight him, swinging at him with open hands, and caused him to have large visible scratches to both sides of his face. Officers did observe those scratches on the scene. He informed officers that he was only trying to defend his mother from scratching him and get her off of him. And he informed officers that his mom threw his phone at the wall and damaged it. Officers did speak to the witness at the time, Ms. Davis, who was on the scene, and she corroborated Mr. Khalil Williams' story and informed officers that Miss Williams, the defendant, showed up, and as Mr. Williams was doing dishes in the kitchen, his mom started talking to him and got up and walked past her towards the kitchen and started swinging on Mr. Williams. And he grabbed her and pushed her off of him out into the hallway. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $1,500 surety bond. That's $1,000 for the battery and $500 for the simple battery. We're asking for a stay away from the incident location of 370 Northside Drive. No contact with the victim and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I just want to make sure here, because I didn't have a note from Mr. Williams, so I just wanted to make sure that we had not had contact with him. But we would sound for Mr. Williams at this time in case he's joined us on the Zoom. And that'll be all for the state.
All right. Mr. Khalil Williams. Khalil Williams. All right. Attorney McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking for signature bond for my client. Based on what I heard pretrial say, it seems that she's not had any recent arrests, certainly not in the past 7 or 8 years, unless I did not hear correctly. Also, this was her home. Her son does not really live there, Your Honor. He's only been there for a very, very short time, certainly less than a month. So it's her home, not his home at all. She, it's her name on the lease, her place, and he really doesn't have any right to be there. She just allowed him to stay there for a little while. So asking her not to go back to her own home would be a huge hardship for her, and she would lose her home because he is not someone who's been living there. He was just a recent guest. So I would ask that any kind of conditions do not include her staying away from her own home. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to order the $1,500 surety bond. Her history concerns me, but I guess the bigger issue is if I don't know that I feel comfortable ordering no further violent contact because again, this just happened. There's not been the ample cooling down period. I understand it is her home, and sometimes I order them to have that home swept, or they can go back if the police come and determine that that the victim or the defendant, either or, depending on who lives there, and if the victim doesn't have any items there, but I suspect he probably will if he's been staying there. So sometimes it's kind of hard to sort it out this early in the case. And I don't know. I don't know if they, are over this or will be able to not have any further violent contact. So here's what I will order: $1,500 surety bond. I will. Your client's raising her hand.
What are you saying, Miss Williams?
I just got out of prison for beating his girlfriend in Florida. That's the case. Just got back. Been in there 3 weeks. I told my mother I got one.
I can't hear her.
It sounds like we can't make out what you're saying.
You gotta talk really loud. My son is 24 years old. He's about to be 25. He's 6'3". He just got out of prison for beating his girlfriend. I did not want this boy in my home. My mother insisted that she said, go ahead, he's doing better. He's been in prison, jail like 3 times for everything domestic violence on a woman. Never in 1,000 years did I think my son's gonna put his hands up in my home.
Your Honor, we can't. We would have to object to her continuing to speak if she's going to speak about the victim. Her son is a victim in this case.
I'm the victim. He beat me.
All right. Hold on. Can you mute her, deputy?
5'1.5". Like
Miss Williams, Miss Williams, Miss Williams,
Deputy.
Miss Williams.
Can you mute it, deputy? Thank you. All right. I'm going to have to, again, order the $1,500 surety bond. I'm going to order her to stay away from the incident location. No further contact with the victim, Khalil Williams. And if police can go there and sweep the property, maybe with a police escort to see if he's moved or not living there. I don't know that I want to order it because I suspect he might still be there. And when I tell people to take a police escort back, some do, some don't. And, just don't want her to get into another incident. So let's do this, and maybe Ms. McLeod, you can see about a modification later if we can determine that he's not staying there.
Yes.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Your Honor,
So
break that bond down, please.
Yep, I just thought about it. 1,000 on the battery, 500 on the simple battery.
Thank you.
Shankquella Howard is accused of criminal trespass from July 23rd of this year, case 25 CR 4208F. Ms. Howard, you've been advised. Were they there when I was announcing their rights, Francois?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. You have been advised of your rights, and your attorney at the present time is going to be Ms. Bronstein. Mr. Howard?
81 on probation, simple battery. 2 different probations for simple battery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually it's 3. 2025 probation, 2024 failure to appear, 2022 ag assault conviction.
All right. And Ms. Falk or Ms. Harrison, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond.
Which is the amount set by the warrant.
Yes, Your Honor, that's a preset bond.
I'm good. Thank you. Ms. Bronstein, any objection?
So Ms. Howard did tell me that she would be unable to make the $1,000 surety bond. So I understand the history that pretrial said. However, she did want me to ask for a signature bond. She's 35 years old, has lived in Atlanta her whole life. Her family's here, siblings. She has 3 children. Her means are limited due to she only gets SSI. And she is requesting a signature bond.
35 years old, you said?
35 years old.
And she's got 81 cycles. That is quite an accomplishment. Ms.
Your Honor,
Howard,
the
yeah,
state does want to point out that she's a repeat trespasser at this location.
I've read the warrant. Thank you. Ms. Howard, you have a significant number of arrest cycles for someone so young, and you've got a prior failure to appear, much less your probation violations. Under the law, someone with this many issues on your history, you do not qualify for a signature bond. So every time you're somewhere and they tell you you need to leave, you need to listen, because otherwise you get to enjoy our hospitality. Your bond at the present time is going to remain at the $1,000 surety bond, and your next court date is going to be August 7th. And if you didn't listen to them, listen to me. You cannot return to the 1049 Ponce de Leon location. If you make bond and you go back there, you'll be arrested again.
What unfolded inside this courtroom was more than a bond hearing. It was a window into one of the most complicated dynamics in human relationships: a mother, a son, and a home caught in the middle of it all. Desiree Williams stood before the court charged with battery family violence and simple battery family violence after a physical altercation with her own son, Khalil Williams, at her apartment on Northside Drive. The facts were straightforward. Officers arrived, observed visible scratches on the victim's face, took statements from witnesses, and the state pushed for a $1,500 cash bond with a stay-away order. But then the defendant spoke, and everything got more complicated. Desiree revealed that her son, the very victim in this case, had just been released from prison for domestic violence against a woman, that she hadn't wanted him there, that her own mother had convinced her to open her door. She came to check on him, and it ended with her in handcuffs. Judge Wallace ordered the $1,500 cash bond and the stay away from the incident location, acknowledging the difficult reality that it was her home, but prioritizing safety given the recency of the incident and the absence of any real cooling down period. A police sweep was recommended, and the door was left open for a future bond modification. This case is a reminder that courtrooms don't just process charges, they process lives, and sometimes the most painful situations are the ones involving the people we love most. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns, because justice never gets old.